What's going on, YouTube? Welcome again to another video. So for this video, I'm just going to talk about my Range Rover L322. This is the 2006 model. Let's start with the exterior. As you can see, it's silver. Silver was not really my first choice, but when I saw the condition of this car, I just couldn't pass it up. It's still in decent shape. I haven't cleaned it, so silver kind of hides the dirt really well. So that's what I kind of started to appreciate about it. These covers I got as soon as I got the car, because they usually, the stock, they kind of fade, and they don't look good. So these covers are cheap, and you can just cover them up, and they look really good. Kind of matches the car. So let's see the interior. So the car, when I got this, it had 102,000 miles. It currently has 111,300 now. So I've done a lot of trips on this car. So this is my daily driver. It's been a good car ever since I bought it. So that's what I'm happy about. I've had a '03 and an '04 L322, and those were problematic. So I would say if you're looking for this kind of car, I would stick with the '06 and up. '06 and up for sure. So for the '06, they have a different engine compared to the '03 and '05. So that's one plus, because the '03 and '05 suffered from a lot of mechanical issues, transmission for sure, and other things. And so here's the new Jaguar engine, which is really nice. There you go, very reliable engine so far. So because I haven't had any issues with it. So at 102,000 miles, it was coming up on the 105,000 mile kind of major service. So that's one thing that you got to keep in mind. So if you're buying a high mileage one of this car, there is a 105,000 mile major service that includes spark plugs and all sorts of things. So that is a little bit under 3,000 usually in independent shops and dealerships. So just keep that in mind when you're buying one of these cars, that you have to spend that money. It's just some people don't consider that, and they don't do it because it is expensive. But that's an opportunity for the shop or somebody, an expert on these cars, to look at the car and actually tell you what the real condition of it before you take it on long trips, and you're not sure if you can trust it. So because I've had previous experience with Range Rovers, I had the insight to just let a shop go through it with a 105,000 mile service, which they found a lot of things. So my charging system was weak. My what do you call this? The alternator was replaced. Also, the cooling system was checked, and the hoses were brittle and about to fail. So if I didn't had them look at that, if you're somebody that's not sure how to look at something like that, then you would have missed it, and you would have been stranded somewhere else, and then having to get a tow. Because my previous Range Rovers, actually all my Range Rovers, which I'll talk about in a minute about this one, all my Range Rovers have been towed at least once. So this one has been towed. I'll talk about the event of why that happened, and the previous two have been towed for sure because of transmission issues on the previous one, and suspension issues on this one and the other one. So let's talk about what else did I do on this. So after the 105,000 mile service, I've been taking it out on trips. It's been reliable, like I said. This is still the original tires from the previous owner. I'm about to change them, I think, after this upcoming trip, because I'm about to go on one in about a week or so. So that's why I'm kind of going over the car. So what else did I have? Okay, so two of the front struts have failed on me. So that's the reason why it was towed. That's the only reason. So it failed on me. So those two front struts are brand new now. The rear struts never really fail. I don't know why, but it's just an airbag in the back. But this one is a strut and an airbag, and they tend to start to leak over time. So these two are brand new now. This car so far has been so good to me. So the extent is just that to get. That's why I got towed. It's the front suspension, air suspension, and then I got a front flat tire one time. I didn't need a tow for that one, but that's one thing that I had to pay for it as well. Another expensive item is you can get these cheap. You can get a universal one or a basic one, but I got the Land Rover OEM tow hookup because I just like the OEM look of it. That's not cheap. That's $500 installed, so not cheap. So what else did I replace? Third brake light up here was broken. My rear camera is still broken. I'm about to fix that. Not really a big deal because I have parking sensors over here at the bumper that tells me if I'm gonna hit something. So I never really put too much priority on that. So let's see what else. It has a full-size spare, which I really love, because if you're out there in the middle of nowhere and you got a flat, you want to still, be able to have your clearance so you can go over, stuff, obstacles and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a pretty nice size interior. We slept in here on our last camping trip. I just basically took off this privacy cover, and I didn't even remove the back seats. I just rolled it up, and I'm 6'2". My wife's 5'4" or so, and then I'm a little bit curled up, and she's fine in here. So I'm a little bit curled up. I need to find an angle. Maybe I'll remove the seats next time. But sleeping in this car is amazing. So it's so much room. Yeah, I mean, I think in the future I was thinking of upgrading to an LR4 because they have more leg room for sleeping in, because you can fold the seats completely flat to the floor. But for now, this one works. Let's see what else. So yeah, besides the major service that I mentioned and the two front struts being replaced, which was $1,000, under $1,000 each side, which is it's very pricey. So it depends on where you get it done, and how your pricing is in your area. In San Francisco, that's what I paid for. That's an independent shop doing it, about $900 on each side. And so now they're both brand new. What happened was I had a suspension fault, but it wasn't because I made a video before of the compressor failing, and I updated the exhaust manifold. I'll try to link the old video about that. I thought that was the only issue, but it turned out that my struts were actually failing, which is a major, major failure. So it actually slammed the car down, and you basically have no springs on the car. You're sitting on the strut, and it was bouncy, really bouncy, really dangerous. So I had to get it towed because I couldn't risk driving it, because every bump you're just like doing that. So that was the major, major pain. Oh, let me show you something inside. So one more thing I forgot to mention on the interior is the sagging headliner. So the sagging headliner happens to almost all Range Rovers. So if you get something around this year Range Rover, you might or you will be getting a sagging headliner. This is a brand new headliner installed by an upholstery shop here in San Francisco. I paid about $750. Amazing work. As you can see, he warranted this for the foreseeable future. It will not fail. So I don't think I'll have this car very long. I mean, I've had it. It's gonna be around 2 years now. So I don't know how much longer I'll have this car. But of all the things, this is not. I don't have to worry about this one failing anytime soon. That one was annoying because you start to see it kind of bell out in this area here, and people sitting in the back, their head will hit the sagging headliner. It's really annoying. Yeah, but so far everything else good to go. So from 102,000 miles all the way to now 111, all I've done was just oil changes, and that's it. There's just those major things. They happen on every Range Rover: the struts, the air suspension issues, and make sure to just stay on top of the maintenance, because that's really the Achilles heel of this car. So some people that sell the car to you, they're gonna say that they maintained it, but they don't have records of it. They've done oil change like so many years ago, and then they just say that if it's done recently. So if you're a little skittish, if they don't have paperwork, have it checked out by an independent shop. That's the only way to see where you're really at with these cars. But they're amazing. They're amazing, right? Driving cars if they're running properly. So what else can I say? Yeah, I'm going on a trip to Alabama Hills. That's why I'm trying to make this video, because I'm looking over my car right now, and actually my brakes I need to change my brakes and my tires, when I get back, because I think I still have life on them for one more trip, and I don't want to just change them because I think they're still pretty good. But my brakes, my last check, they told me that it's getting weaker and weaker. So, the life on them is they need to be changed. Yeah. So I really love this car. So I think once this one is at the end of its life, I would get another one because I just love this platform, man. Like it just looks amazing. So just a quick look at what's been done for the 105,000 mile service. Yeah, so they did some. Yeah, so the 105, they did the checklist for the 105, clean throttle body, plate, reset, whatever systems, and my parking brake. I've mentioned that is when you pull it, it's a little bit loose because once I pull it, the car still moves a little bit. I mean, they can't really do much about that. They said that's really how it is. Brake pedal up because my brake pedal when I brake there's like a delay or it was feeling weak. I had them check that. That's not part of the 105. These items here are just my initial observations when I got the car, and I want to address it if they can. So I cannot duplicate some of the issues. uh, I was hearing like a fan noise, and they couldn't duplicate that, so I guess it's not an issue, not really big issue. So okay, the left front strut. Was at the time before I replaced both front struts. So they saw the left front strut has a lot of cracks. Right front looks like it has been replaced. The previous owner did claim that it was replaced, but it eventually both eventually failed. So that wasn't. That's why I said that you couldn't trust the previous owner all too much because he replaced it, but it ended up failing on me anyway. So tow harness, that's and the camera for the customer. The camera is expensive. That's about another $400 or so just for the unit, and plus installation. You can repair the camera in a different way, which is much cheaper. It's just involved because it takes a lot of soldering and dismantling some of the parts back there. The tow harness I already have installed eventually because I need it for the track. While vehicles. Okay, third brake light was also really replaced. So as you can see. Yeah, and the coolant hoses was replaced. Check the cooling system and all that. It's pretty good. Yeah, so like I said before, yeah, all of this cost me around $3,400 because of labor and parts and all that. But that's if you do it at the Land Rover dealership, it will be more. But this is an independent shop, so this is decent, in terms of price. So they even replaced the motor oil, air filter, spark plugs, and the left front strut at the time because when it was cracking. But they ended up replacing the other one that was apparently replaced, but it still failed. So both of them are brand new now. So just to give you guys an honest look at what you're expecting when you get one of these cars, but they're amazing cars. I'm excited for my Alabama Hills trip, and I'll try to film that trip as much as I can. But I don't know if I can do the trail recon style where I have to get out the car and film it from the outside. There's just so much work, but I'll try to see if I can do that. I will do it because I have a gimbal and my camera here. So I'm gonna try to do that. Put some effort into the YouTube channel. So yeah, air suspension works now. It raises up if I need it. And I like the clearance on this car, just amazing. It's super comfortable to drive too. We went to Carrizo Plain, which was 100 degrees at the time when I went. That was my first long distance trip with the car, and I was just in the off road, and it was super hot, but I was super comfortable inside, and I had the AC on. It's just amazing, and yeah. So now I'm gonna take another 7-hour drive. Almost to that valley where I went and rode my GSA, but I'm gonna stop. We're gonna go to Alabama Hills, which is a little bit closer, 1 hour closer, to Lone Pine, and then we'll do some camping on over there because when I had my GSA, it was so hard to take pictures because I had to stop and remove my gear to get the pictures, and so this time around I might be able to do these filming for you guys much better because I'll be able to access my gear very, very quickly. All right, hopefully I didn't ramble too much. I think I did, but I just wanted to give you guys a very complete overview on this car. I'm sure I missed a couple of things here, but if you ask me some questions, I'll make sure to answer them. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.